Welcome to the Get Offset podcast. My name is Andrew.
And I'm Emily.
And we talk about stuff.
And things.
We haven't said that in a while.
We haven't. It's because we didn't. I don't think we wanted to do it in front of Sadie or Tad or Steve.
What, are you embarrassed? Like, gosh.
I'll tell you, I think I might have mentioned this before, but I wasn't going to do the whole thanks for listening, thanks for understanding thing until you kicked it off in that episode with them.
Right.
I think the funniest thing to me was Tad was like, what song's that from?
And Steve was like immediately like, oh my goodness.
It's like a Entitlement Crew, man. I don't do a good Steve impression, but
I don't do a good either of them impression. They're both too cool for me.
They asked for some shirts and some hats, so we did a little tradesies. And Steve asked for a dad cap. That's the kind that's not the flat bill, but it's just more like a classic baseball cap kind of deal. It looks really nice.
I thought it looks kind of nice. I don't know. And then I gave Tad my my snapback because it was one of those like, oh, that's a sick hat. And I was like, I don't know, you want it? And he's like, maybe after the episode, when we got done after the episode, I was like, all right, have I convinced you that I don't have lice? And then he took it. So
yeah. So we'll see if he takes it to Nashville when I see them, but I doubt it.
Well, I was flattered that he liked it so much that he would take it off of my greasy head.
Yeah. So what are you drinking tonight?
I am having a 10-year scotch. Trader Joe's label.
10-year scotch, Trader Joe's.
I just poured it. I'm just tired. Thank you.
You just poured it, but you're calling it 10-year scotch.
It is a 10-year scotch. The years.
10-year. I'm gonna start a poll. Which did you hear? 10-year scotch or 10-year scotch?
It's been tenured, like a teacher or a professor.
That was the joke, bud.
That was some high education humor.
Some education humor.
Education.
I gotta not do that voice anymore this episode. Lord.
Education.
Education. No, I'm a little sick, so I'm a little out of it. I'm
Andrew.
as well.
Nice to meet you, little sick.
I was gonna say something really rude because that's my go-to, but I would have had to bleep it.
Yeah. Well, I probably would have deserved it. Anyways, yeah. So this is I don't spend tons of money on myself, contrary to popular belief. And so I got this guy was like $25 at Trader Joe's for a bottle of 10-year old aged scotch. Yeah, it's not bad at all. I'm actually really happy with it. So I'm milking the heck out of it, and plan on having this one for a while. But it was night before I start the new job, and I figured it'd be worth pouring a little bit of the special scotch. So. Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm bummed to leave all of the folks at my old job. If you're listening to this by some odd chance, that means one, I finally convinced you to listen to my dang podcast after talking about it incessantly in the office.
Dang.
But I don't apologize for the record. And no, in all honesty, I do miss a lot of you folks. So yeah, but all that said is I'm excited to kick off the new job. So that happens tomorrow morning.
Nice. That's very exciting. Better hours.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of reasons for it, and for me to make this switch, and I'm really looking forward to the way it's going to change the routine of my life.
Yes, so. That's key. Having a good work-life balance routine.
Indeed. So cheers to that.
Cheers to that. And I will cheers my LaCroix to something new I've got going on. I've joined the local Seattle band Sunday Crush, and we're playing a couple shows this late summer, early fall. September 12th will be at Fred's Wildlife in Capitol Hill for a free shindig of shenanigans. It's a shopping mall themed festival. Again, free. Come out. Yeah, that'll be fun. And then October 5th will be at Connor Burn. October 10th, I'll be solo at Connor Burn. Additionally, September 21st, I'll be playing with a woman named Abby Kay at Connor Burn. And sometime in October, I'll be playing another gig at Connor Burn with someone else. So I'll basically, I live there now, I think.
That's what it sounds like. You might as well just sleep in a car outside.
Yes. You know, it's a pretty quick jaunt down from my place. If I didn't need to bring an amp, I could have just hopped on my bicycle and rolled down the hill.
You could have,
Yeah,
but
I
you
guess I still
didn't.
could. I
Not to
sh-
wait.
I
Just Felix.
I would need
Felix.
no. I really thought about getting one. Well, I have been giving thought to if I find $700 getting the Milkman the amp.
Right.
Again, though, $700.
Right, but if it's as good as an amp is, then like, why not?
$700.
I see a strong argument for it personally, but
I do too. I think that if you're like touring, that would be superb.
oh yeah, definitely. Honestly, I'm thinking about getting an HX Stomp in Heaven for a little bit, and honestly, it's the kind of thing that I say I'm thinking about getting one, but I have no financial means of doing so because
Yeah.
I'm too scared. I could sell my amps and it'd be like probably a more or less 1-for-1 trade. I don't know if
Hmm.
I can do it, and then I just set up my guitar wall with my amps and stuff, and one of my amps is also holding up my speakers for my radio, and
Hmm.
I don't know if it looks so good together. Anyways,
Yeah.
all of that to say is, I, I I'm really intrigued and I really want to try it, but I'm also scared to commit. So,
I thought you were about to say you were intrigued by my band, and then I got sad.
well,
I thought we were going back to that. I don't know
I mean,
why.
we could go
That's
back to
helpful.
it.
Now we're good. Um, but I'm really excited about it. It's with some good people, and I really like the music. So it's happening. It's music. It's cool.
Where can I buy tickets?
Again, free at Fred's Wildlife on September 12th.
Free. I like free.
I like free.
Free is the best kind of free.
I don't know if it's all ages, but it might be.
Well, regardless, I think I'm above the age that most venues require for age checks. So
Yes. Oh gosh, just barely, right?
just barely. I'm but the
Yeah.
wee child. Yeah.
Seems that way.
Shut up, mom. I do what I want.
Do what I want. You're not my dad, mom. Okay, that was a lot.
Welcome to the Get Offset podcast, where this just gets strange really fast.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Let's circle back. Circle back. Talk about guitar pedals.
Amp pedals?
Amp pedals.
No, I don't have any amp pedals because I say that I've got no means to buy an HX Stomp, but then I picked up some other things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sort of. So I've had 3 #NGDs new gear days in the last couple of weeks or so, and that never happens. I haven't
That's
had
a
a
lot, yeah.
I haven't had a new gear day in a while, and to have 3 back to back to back like that was kind of overwhelming.
But
Uh,
one had been like in the works for a
One's been in
while.
the works, so yeah. So I put an order a while back with Justin 10K at Mezzo Effects for a
MZO.effects.
indeed, and yeah. So it's his Ohm version 2 with the custom artwork. We agreed to do that giveaway we did back, was that February? Good gravy, that was a long time ago, it feels like.
It
And
was like February or March.
yeah, we did that giveaway with I did the cat art for the front of the pedal,
And then I liked it so much that I got one right
and then
away.
I liked it so much that I waited a couple months to pull together my cash for it, and so I got mine finally in. It's in blindingly neon orange. Like I can't photograph it.
It is a bright pedal.
It's insanely bright, and I
Yeah.
love it. It sounds great. I'm getting a whole range of sounds out of it.
Nice.
I've had the opportunity to play with it more than I did with the giveaway pedal because I was too scared to
Mm-hmm.
scratch the giveaway pedal.
It was glossy, wasn't it?
It was glossy, yeah, and I
Yeah.
don't think I scratched it. I've already scratched my orange one on the bottom because I didn't put Velcro on it, but
Well,
it's
if you
fine. I'm
and
never getting rid of it, so might as well.
if you want that black Mezzo Effects Ohm with the carry with the cat on the front, I think Scott Hamilton, who won it, is selling his.
It's making the rounds.
Is it?
So.
Yeah, it's one. Well, he has so many pedals, and he wins. He wins everything. That guy, or is it
Well,
Paul who wins
that's Paul
everything?
Pennington that wins everything.
Paul wins
Shout
everything.
out
So
to
Scott
Paul.
was overdue, or was it Paul who won? I forget, man.
Paul won it, and I
Paul
thought
won it. Yeah, that's
Didn't
it.
did he sell it to Sky? I don't know. Scott will
No,
have
no,
to weigh
no.
in.
I'm sorry. I just get the flip and flippers confused sometimes.
Yeah. So anyway, so I'm really excited I got that in. There's another addition to the trade in trade up deal. So if those of you who might remember, I started
Yes.
off with that $20 Electro Harmonics pedal, and I traded my way up to a made in Japan GE7, the Boss
Mhm.
7 band EQ, at a guitar show, and then I wasn't. I was just gonna wait until I could go to another guitar show or something to continue the game, but someone posted a Analog Man modded DD5, and I was really intrigued. So it's modded for a kill dry. Someone posted it up on one of the gear swap pages on Facebook, and I was like, you know what? That sounds cool. I want to. I want to hear that. And the gentleman was quite the gentleman and offered to trade it one for one. So
Oh,
I
nice.
was pretty hyped, and I feel like I got the upper end of that. Maybe I'm wrong, but regardless, I'm pretty excited. I've played around with it quite a bit. I'm pretty stoked with it.
Nice. Well, congratulations. That's quite a trade.
Oh, and then I got a DoD volume pedal, and
Oh.
so now I have the matching volume and expression set, and I'm still have mixed feelings on how I feel about them, but I do own them, so you know.
Yeah, I was messing with the expression pedal and it just it doesn't have that same nice sweeping feel that the bigger ones do.
Right, right. Is that? I think that's just part of me being klutzy, and I'm sure I'll get used to it pretty quick.
I mean, but I have really small feet and I find it difficult. Like I'm a size 6.5. I've and like I it's really quite small.
Well,
But it is small, which is why it's also appealing for
indeed, yeah, yeah.
traveling.
So no, I've got
Yeah.
both of mine currently on a little temporary board setup while I'm just testing stuff out, and
Yeah.
they take up less room collectively than my VP Junior. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's pretty
true.
hard to argue with.
Yeah, it is. That's very true. Um, I got some new pedals too.
It's hashtag NGD
Yeah.
city up in here.
Well, this one was pretty hard to resist. Have you heard of the Bloomin' Fade pedal? It's like $40.
No,
It's one button and a dial, and it's you step on the button and it cuts your sound. It's a momentary latch, and you release, and it does a volume swell. So swell from nothing, and it's meant is small, like the smallest standard size enclosure, and you can adjust like the length of the swell with the dial, and I mean that's really cool.
what the heck? Wait, no, you need to send me the link to that because I'm about to
Yeah,
go
you're about to
broke
buy
again.
one. Yeah.
Um, I need to sell my third kidney to continue with this habit.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And when I say my third kidney, I mean I've already sold two, then got another one implanted with insurance. I need to sell that one now. So
Yeah, so I got the Bloom and Fade, super neat. Oh my gosh, let me just now I'm gonna have to make sure that it is what it's called. Bloom and
I thought
Fade.
like for some reason it made me think of like Bloomin' Onion. That's
Ye
what was that from Chili's?
Blue ampersand Fade from Nightfall Pedal Companies. That was Outback Steakhouse, Andrew.
Is it? I lose.
Yes.
They honestly they all serve like the same stuff.
I'm gonna send you. It's
They
the
all
Outback
smell the same,
Steakhouse.
I
It's
think.
different. It's different. So I'm sending you the link. They're sold out right now, but
It's steak from the down under.
really neat. Oh, so they're $55, not 40.
You lied.
I might have got. They might. Maybe they're raising their price because suddenly people are buying them. Let me
My
look.
feelings are hurt. Truly.
No, I got mine for 40. Yeah. So better get on it. I mean, I get it. Like price it low right away, get like a low barrier to entry for people, and then they get it and like, wow, this is a very small pedal that does like the one like what I'd say probably 80% of guitarists use their volume pedal for just like swells.
Right.
Like this is not a volume pedal replacement for like pedal steel or someone like Steve Selvage from the Hold Steady who uses it a lot during a show and not for swells but just for general like boosts and stuff, and I know this because I was right in front of his feet for 3 nights straight the other day.
It just now that I think about it, sounds like that's just like like an interesting take on the feature set of a slow gear.
Yes. Yes. I would agree with that.
It's like a cross between a slow gear and like a EHX freeze.
But this is a momentary latch, though.
Right, right, right.
Well, like the freeze is a momentary latch. It's almost the opposite of a freeze. I'll
I'm
stop
very
talking now. Yes.
no, no. I just need to. You know what? I'm just gonna steal it from you, and you're just not gonna notice.
No. No.
Dang it! Thought that would work.
No. I'm gonna hide it next time you come over. And then the other thing I did was, so we both traded with Roman when we were at the Tacoma Guitar Festival.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. You got the
The
Simon the
Simon the
Magpie
Magpie
DS1.
DS1 circuit bender thing with crazy patch cables, and I was like, "This is cool. I'm really into it." I was really, I thought a good deal on a trade from Roman, who I think just wanted to get rid of it. And I never really had the time to just play with it a lot. And I was a little intimidated, a little impatient. So it's not probably the best pedal for me, but I found someone who traded it for an Infinite Jets.
That's insane. That's a flip if I've ever heard of one.
I mean, but how do you know what to price this? Like, surely one of a kind pedal by a great builder.
Well, I think my original point there is that what did you trade Roman for? Was it an overdrive or something?
A Timber Overdrive.
Which was cool and all, but if to trade yourself up to an Infinite Jets is insanity, I think, because don't
Yeah.
those go for like $300?
They go for more new.
Yeah, they're new. They're like 400 something. They're like Strymon prices.
Yeah. It's really great. It's so cool. I'm having it's one of the first times I've actually sat down and had the patience for the manual. And yeah, I don't there's nothing I can say. It's just it's wild, it's cool, it's washy ambience or weird nasty synth noises or that glitchy stuff I love so much. Like yeah, I'm way into it.
You just take like 100 milligrams of CBD and just soak it all in.
100 milligrams. I'll call Sadie first. Lord.
R.I.P.
RIP us. Weirdest music ever. Yeah. But that's what I got going on. I think that maybe we should move this pony show along. Like I've only had the Infinite Jets for a few days, so I'm still very much figuring it out, but I'm sure I'll give updates on my journey with this behemoth.
It's a lot to dig yourself into, so
Yes.
I'm really excited to see what you come up with.
Me too.
And I think you should find a way to use it in live shows.
I think I will try. Um, it's big.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's an excuse.
I will use it.
Honestly.
I will use it. I will use it at my solo show at Connor Burn on October 10th. I can
Alrighty.
guarantee it. I can guarantee that. With a band
I think
setting,
this
it's
falls under
different.
the category of like find something super freaking weird and just leave it on your board until you figure out how to work with it, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like our episode on Weird Pedals, like I live by that philosophy. Like, just do it.
Yeah. Maybe we should revisit that one sometime.
I think I need to find more weird pedals.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I take that back. What I need to put back on this test board for me to toy around with is the my pyramids from Earthquake Devices. I'm gonna take
Yes.
another go with that because I love I spent a few months with it and then I tabled it for a little and I haven't picked it back up. And I love the sounds I was getting out. And honestly, like at that point in time, it kicked my FX65 off my board for a little bit because I dialed in a pretty good approximation of what I was getting out of my FX65. It's not quite the exact same, but it did the trick. And I love my FX65, and I'm so scared of like breaking it. So I like to keep that on the shelf.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need to break that out and get back into like some of the weird stuff that can do because it can do all kinds of crazy like sequencing and all that. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool.
And then after I'm through with that, I think I want to Maris Hydra, but that's a whole nother story.
Well, you gotta get that Jennings guitar first.
I do. I can't wait
to get our sponsors, Jennings guitar.
Jennings guitars, American-made guitars
They are
in the U.S.
in the U.S. They are a
Now,
sponsor of this program.
Sponsor and friend of the show. Please consider purchasing a Jennings Navigator or Voyager
or Deluxe,
Voyager Deluxe, or Catalina. Any of them.
Any of them. Underwriting for GetOffSET also provided by Spruce Pedals and Effects, the maker of the official GetOffSET pedal, the Mount Hood. All I love about this pedal, everything. I love the germanium boost. I love the triangle fuzz. I love the 3-band IQ. I love the presence knob. And I love that once when some guy tried to ask me like a total smartass, well, what's your signature pedal? I could say the Mount Hood by Spruce Effects. $199 at spruceeffects.com with the code GETOFFSET. That's spruceeffects.com, code GETOFFSET.
Not gonna lie, that's a baller move.
That was pretty great.
Like, for fuzz's sake, he just roasted that dude.
His response was, "Oh, neat, I'll check it out."
Oh shoot, I'm like, oh man, I'm so insecure and all of a sudden.
Can you imagine trying to like come at somebody like if someone was critiquing music and you say, "Yeah, how many records have you sold?" and the person said 10 million? You're like, ah.
Oh.
I got
again,
burned.
selling records is not necessarily a metric for making good music, but anyways.
Well, I think that the 10 million people who bought that record would say it's good music, so there is that. That's always the truth.
Well, I guess if it sells, then that means the consumers are sheep.
It does for things like, let's be honest, Creed, maybe?
Ouch.
Yeah, I went there.
Stop it.
That rapper Snow?
That's my go-to Creed joke.
Okay.
Scott Stapp is their singer.
Stop.
Stap
it. Stap it. Stap it right now. Oh my god.
Stap making Creed jokes.
Stap. Yeah, that's our sponsors. Was that radio-y enough?
Was that radio-y enough?
Please vote on whose radio thing you thought was better.
Oh, that's not fair. I had a really good one a couple weeks ago.
You did a really good one tonight. That was a very smooth radio voice.
Well, sure, but like it was super awkward and
okay,
and guaranteed.
Okay, fine. Take my.
Anybody
stop.
This
Stap. All right.
Stat.
Compare the thing that I did for the Mount Hood Spruce Effects pedal, and then go back to listen to our episode with Sadie from Speedy Ortiz, and that was the one where Andrew did the really good radio voice, and Sadie and I were both like, "Wow."
I think I was drinking something caffeinated that night. I think that's what the trick is.
Well, it was in the morning.
Oh, that's why it was. I was on coffee.
Yes. Good job.
I was drinking something caffeinated. Look at me go.
Good job.
Regular old Sherlock over here.
Oh, yes. Also, one of my favorite moments in the Hold Steady episode was when you made some reference to BB. He's still doing it. And I knew that you meant in that moment, like in the moment that he said the thing that we were quoting him saying. But then I smacked you on the back and said, "He's dead, Andrew."
See, here's a bus, and here's Andrew, and then here's the bus going past Andrew, and it wouldn't hit Andrew, except Emily freaking threw him under the bus.
Yeah, I did.
That was pretty harsh. That was rude.
No, it wasn't.
It was humiliating.
It was. I'm sorry.
It's a little humiliating.
So that reminds me of the topic.
Yes, topics.
So the topic is, when you go to see a band, do you get upset if the band doesn't stick around after the show and sign things and take pictures? So there's that kind of mindset that a lot of people have. And so I think we just want to talk about, is this valid? Like, are you entitled to, when you buy a ticket to see the performer, are you only entitled to see the show and get into the venue and have access to like the food and drinks at the venue or whatever? Or is it really rude if the artist doesn't come out at the end of the show and like greet people and whatever.
You know what? I'm gonna make this really easy. The flat answer is it's not rude.
It's not rude.
That's my very, very flat biased answer.
Yeah.
But okay, so let me just lay this down with one of the all-time greats. We're gonna step out of the guitar world for a second here.
Yes.
We're gonna go back in time a little bit, and we're going to invoke the name of Neil Peart.
Neil Peart. Oh God. No, why are you talking about Neil Peart on this
Because
podcast?
he's well, okay. I reserve the right to talk about Neil Peart as a drummer. Thank you very much.
Sweet Jesus. I won't talk about Rush.
Okay,
But it's
why
okay.
not?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay,
I said I don't want to talk about it. You're not
if you
entitled.
won't
You're not
talk about
entitled to my
okay.
brain space.
Well, okay. Anyways, Neil Peart is objectively one of the greatest drummers of the 20th century.
Subjectively. Keep going.
I think he easily makes top 5.
No, absolutely not.
You're not a drummer. You don't know the technicality of what he's doing.
Have you listened to Art Blakey? Just jazz drummers are all better. Go ahead.
Well,
keep going. Just say rock drummer.
Jazz drummers are phenomenal.
I know.
Buddy Rich. Anyways, Louis Bell's, Gene Krupa. And moving on.
Art Blakey.
So anyways,
and Art Blakey was on heroin the whole time. Keep going.
Well, welcome to rock and roll.
Keep going.
I just had a sorry, you said heroin and I thought needles, and then I don't like needles and that freaks me out.
You're weak. Well, I'm kidding. I get it. I don't like them either. Well, actually, I don't care as much. Rick doesn't like them. I've kind of.
All of that said, are we really surprised Seattle has a heroin epidemic?
Can we talk about
our most notable landmark is a giant needle? Like, let's be honest. Anyways, Neil Peart was known for not meeting fans at shows. He's incredibly introverted, and he didn't do it. And you know, people still pay tons of money to go to shows. Like it's always about the show. It's about the showmanship, and I know that's sort of different depending on the scene you're in. But I think at the end of the day, if that's what you got to do for self-care, like that's what you got to do.
I think self-care is so key to this, and I don't know really. There's so many things I want to say about this. I think that there is sometimes a sense of entitlement, and I don't think that you should feel ever entitled to somebody's time. Like sincerely, like if you like send someone a message on Instagram or something, or you send someone an email and they don't respond to it, like you have a couple ways you can go with this, and you can like either take it personally they didn't respond and get so mad and whatever, or you can just say what the truth is, like either this person is too busy or just uninterested. It's not really about me, it's about that person. So I think that that's like you have the people who are mad and they feel owed something more than what you promised to give them, which is a show. I think that you need to think about like how that is in other people's lives, because I think that this is like this isn't just with musicians. This is with like career professionals. This is in terms of like other people in your life. Like you're not entitled to anything that someone doesn't willingly want to give you ever.
I don't know. If I want to talk to the manager, I'm going to talk to the manager whether the manager wants to or not. Sorry, I was channeling
your inner Karen.
Completely different. I wasn't gonna say it because it sounds so like, but it's so true. If you've ever worked in retail, you that when someone walks towards the counter and that you can just tell that they've got the "I want to speak to your manager" face, and you're like, "Oh boy, here we go."
Boy, you buddy, yeah.
And if you work in retail, one of the best ways you can head this off, or at least I don't know, maybe it's not the best way, but what I often did is if I knew what they were complaining about and if it had something to do with me, I'd be like, let me go get the manager for you personally. And then I would go to the manager's office, shut the door, and like in 10 seconds say, this is what they're upset about. I swear it's not my fault.
Yes, that's smart. But bands can't.
Let's work on
bands can't really do that. Like if the band doesn't come out, like are you gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna talk to your manager? Like their manager doesn't care.
No,
the manager cares less.
So there's their manager wants to get paid because that's how the music industry
and the
works,
tour manager
bro.
wants to get them the hell out of that venue as soon as humanly possible.
Especially if you're touring, like playing like 7 shows a week. like night to night to night in different cities. So if you're like coming down the West Coast and you hit Vancouver and one night, then Seattle the next night, then
If
Portland
your routing
and
is good,
Reading.
if you have good routing, which you usually don't, it's more likely like Seattle to like Spokane to Billings or some crap like that, back to Portland, and you're like, what is happening? Why am I in 5 different time zones?
And then you're in Reading, and you're like, I thought California was progressive, and then you go back to San Francisco. And you're like, oh, this is California, and then you continue down south, and yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, there's that whole time element of, not as big a deal for local bands in terms of like what I absolutely need to do next. So I mean, there are bands who like it's their thing that they meet their fans, and I think that's great. I love bands like that. I'm the fan that I
You're
really
beating me to it. I was about to say, all right, now let's flip this on its head.
I'm the person who
I was
likes
about
that thing.
I was about to throw
Okay, let's throw
down.
down. How'd I ruin it?
All right.
Oh,
Okay. Well, we'll salvage it. We'll work on it. So, all right. So here comes the throwdown. Are you entitled to it? No. But as a band person, if you are physically capable of doing it, you have nothing. Like I don't see how that ends
uh,
negatively. Like I just see nothing but pros.
I mean, I,
I mean, you're building personal connection with your fans, and more people are more like, oh yeah, like Garrett's a rad dude. Like you should go listen to his music. Like you're building that connection. You're able to sell more merch. You're getting
you're definitely
more
selling more
people want
merch.
to take you. People want
People want
photos.
photos. People want
In
to.
the age of the smartphone, people want tons of photos. They're going to plaster all over their social media that only 5 friends look at. But when you've got 30 people that just took a photo with you, that's 30 times 5. Was it 150 people? So, boom.
I mean, there's that, but I think you also need to concern yourself with, making sure you are setting healthy boundaries between your fans, and like that's by definition for like every person that's different. Um, but I think that especially women need to be careful about these kinds of things. I know of women who have been, assaulted by fans, people who thought they were fans, or there are real dangers with that from time to time. I mean, like there's that adage by Margaret Atwood that's like, men are afraid that women will laugh at them and women are afraid that men will kill them. So I think that for women it's
Well, I
so
mean, that
different.
happened, though. That happened to, was it Christine Grimmie?
Yeah, she's one of the famous ones. She was killed by a fan, but it happens all the time. Like not all the time. It
Yeah,
happens like every couple years you hear about it.
that was heartbreaking.
It's
Good
not even
gravy.
just musicians, it's like TV news anchors and like celebrities. So like that's real, and it doesn't just happen to people at on a big level. I mean, we talked before about how there were people we tried to bring on the podcast um to talk about online trolls, and they said I can't really talk about my issues because I have an online stalker and I have, active litigation against them at this time and I can't talk about it. So that's a real thing.
Right.
And it can happen to men too. Men can have crazy fans that, just want to be their friend, or so like you have to keep in mind when you're the fan who loves hanging out with bands afterwards. I I totally am. And I feel so lucky when it happens, but when it doesn't happen, I know that it's not about me.
Nope, not at all. And I think that attitude of entitlement that some people get about it, like, I mean, honestly, like, if you were entitled to it, then you would have paid for the meet and greet. Like, that's what that's
Yeah,
for.
that's why there are a lot of people who do that. The Hold Steady did it.
Yeah. So, which I think is great. And I think not only is that a great way to make a little bit more money when you're on the
Or
road,
give
but
give
that's
your
also,
the favorite band more money without buying more like useless crap that you don't need.
and it also weeds out the riffraff because
It
I hate,
does.
like, yeah, well, like, let's be honest, like, we've all been at the back of a show, like one of our favorite bands is opening for the headliner, and then they're in the back hawking their merch, and like someone's like, oh, I don't know, that band was kind of sick. We should go say hi. And they have no idea who they're
Yeah.
talking to. And they're like, bro, get out of my way. This is my buddy. Like, I want to give him a hug
Oh,
or whatever. I don't know.
weird.
The band I'm thinking of in particular, like, I'm friends with the singer. I
But
like his
like,
band.
oh
He's a
yeah.
great guy. That's completely normal. Anyways, that sounded way weird out of context.
It's all right.
Uh,
You got the scotch.
and it was like, yeah, like I want to go talk to my buddy. Like, what are you doing? You're just like, I don't know. You don't know this
Yeah.
guy. And so there's also that element where now I'm starting to get self entitled.
Yeah.
We've come full
We've come
circle.
full circle. Yes, like I was really surprised when in an online conversation this came up. And then like the person I was talking about with a person, and he said that he mainly considered this to be an issue with uh he said, "Oh, I get it for touring bands if they have somewhere to go. Like if they have somewhere to go, they definitely have somewhere to go. Um um local bands not staying for all the sets."
Right.
So, I mean, I think that's different.
Yeah, and well, I get it. And the flip side is like, especially if you've been on tour and this is like the 17th show you've done with the same band, I don't think you're
Oh,
obligated to
no,
sit
no,
through
no,
their set.
local bands, like one night off shows, kinds of
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah.
Open mic nights.
And like when it's available, like when you're available,
Yeah.
do it.
There's so many good reasons to
If
do that, and they're, like, similar, like, networking things, getting your name out there, you know, making those connections, making those fans. But the big thing for me is that I just think that's polite. Because if especially if someone watched
it
your music, like, that's just politeness, I think.
what I can say, if I was like a small town band and I just got lucky enough to get on the ticket for band that was passing through, it would mean the world to me. It'd be like, oh my god, they're listening to my
Oh,
music.
yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, I can see them in the back.
Yeah.
Ah,
No.
that's my
That's your
like
excited
that's
fanboy.
my voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about as excited as I get
Yeah, but
actually.
I mean, like the touring band thing, yeah, that would be in the world, but even on a small level, just like my local peers sticking around versus heading home. But I was also kind of surprised when this person said that local bands wherever he's from don't like to stay to the end of the show because that's traditionally when I get paid when I play a show is at the end of it. Is that unusual? It doesn't sound unusual.
Gotta
I
get
got to
paid.
get paid.
Unless you're getting paid in drink tickets and you get paid up front. Am I
Yeah,
right?
you get those up front. So if it's one of those things, then like I guess I don't know, whatever. Um,
That was what you said.
yeah. Um, what was the other thing? Oh, no, I don't remember it. I think we did run out of gas.
I think I just want to circle back. Well, not circle back. I think I just want to end on the note of there's many sides to this, and I think all general statements are dumb.
Hmm.
And I think there. That said, I think there is a reason why musician meme accounts always circle back to this topic in one way or another because it can be frustrating or and this that or the other thing. I think we've covered a lot of that ground, but I mean, if you just scroll through band memes
Hmm.
666, and there's a whole lot of stuff about like leaving at the end of the show or like, oh, can I borrow your amp? And like, but I don't actually like you or care about your set or whatever. Like, there's a whole lot of that, and so it's a common frustration. I get why that guy that you were talking to is upset about it. I
Hmm.
just if we take a step back from the all the frustrations that we have, let's think about it logically and like there is a little bit
Yeah.
more to this. So that's kind of my ending
Yeah, and I
spiel.
think it's I remember what I was going to mention was that like with local bands, it's likely that a lot of people in these bands have, day jobs that start early and kids and babysitters that they have to get back to. Like especially as we get older, there are more and more reasons to leave this kind of environment. And, maybe you're sober and you don't want to hang out in a bar. Like there's you're just tired. You're just beaten down.
Or maybe you've got to sleep in your
Yes,
car.
maybe your baby's in your car. Wait, is that what you said?
No, I said maybe you've got to sleep in your car.
I was joking.
Yeah, I just played my set. Sorry, my kid's passed out in my car. Like make sure he doesn't like bake to death.
I cracked a window. Don't worry, he's got some water. He's almost two. He'll be fine. He's
Newspaper.
got a newspaper. He's got the funnies
I
right
left,
there.
I left the keys in the
Yeah,
ignition. What
he's
could go
fine.
wrong?
He's fine. It's not a great neighborhood. Doors are unlocked though. uh, so yeah, I think that we just need to like maybe pull back from like these automatic thoughts
Those knee jerk reactions that make you go, ah!
Exactly. But just being less judgy and just assume someone's not being a dick. Like, don't assume that they're being a dick. Just assume that there's something else, and like that just because you're not, or your wants or your needs, your expectations aren't their priority doesn't make it wrong. Like, I don't know how else to say that. Like, just be less judgy. Assume good things in people for like harmless things.
And to repeat a phrase that our sponsor Spruce Effects has used frequently,
Don't be
don't
a
be a dick.
dick. All right. Yep.
Yeah, I think that,
Yeah,
I think that covers it.
I think we did a good job on that one, eh?
Thank you for
Thank you
listening.
for
Thank you
understanding.
for
Oh, send my best to the Entitlement Crew. This has been the Get Offset podcast.
Indeed.
Bye.
1, 2, 3.
Bye.